Hey YouTube, I'm going to read you something I think is pretty interesting. It's by Charlie Reese, a former journalist for the Orlando Sentinel. Hope you enjoyed as much as I do, or did. Here goes. Politicians are the only ones in the world who create problems and then campaign against them. Have you ever wondered why Democrats and Republicans, if they are so opposed to deficits, why do we have deficits? Have you ever wondered why politicians hate high taxes and inflation? Why do we have high taxes and inflation? You and I don't propose the federal budget. The president does. You and I don't have constitutional authority to approve appropriation spending. The House of Representatives does. You and I don't write the tax code. Congress does. You and I don't set fiscal policy. Congress does. You and I don't control monetary policy. The Federal Reserve Bank does. 100 senators, 435 congressmen, 1 president, 9 Supreme Court justices, 545 human beings out of 300 million are directly, legally, morally, and individually responsible for the domestic problems that plague this country. I exclude members of the Federal Reserve Board because that problem was created by Congress. In 1913, Congress delegated its constitutional duties to provide sound currency to a federally chartered but private central bank. I exclude all special interests and lobbyists for a sound reason. They have no legal authority. They have no ability to coerce a senator, a congressman, or a president to do one cotton-picking thing. I don't care if they offer a politician $1 million in cash. The politician has the power to accept or reject it, no matter what the lobbyist promises. It's the legislator's responsibility to choose how he or she votes. Those 545 human beings spend much of their time trying to convince you that what they did is not their fault. They cooperate in this common con regardless of party. What separates a politician from an ordinary human being? An excessive amount of gall. No normal human being would have the gall of the speaker to stand up and criticize the president for creating deficits. The president can only propose a budget. The Congress has the responsibility to accept it. The Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, gives the sole responsibility to the House of Representatives for originating and approving appropriations and taxes. Who is the Speaker of the House? She's the leader of the majority party. She and fellow House members can approve the budget, any budget they want, not the president. If the president vetoes it, they can pass it over his veto if they agree to. It seems inconceivable to me that a nation of 350 million people cannot replace 545 who stand convicted by present facts of incompetence and irresponsibility. I can't think of a single domestic problem that isn't directly traceable to those 545 people. When you fully grasp the idea that 545 people exercise the power of the entire federal government, then it must follow that what exists is what they want to exist. If the tax code is unfair, they want an unfair tax code. If the budget's in the red, they want it in the red. If the Army and Marines are in Iraq, they want them in Iraq. If they don't accept Social Security, but instead have an elite retirement plan, then they want an elite retirement plan. They vote their own pay raises because they want it that way. There are no unsolvable government problems. Do not let these 545 people shift blame to bureaucrats, whom they hire and can abolish their jobs, to lobbyists, whose gifts, advice, and bribes they can reject. to regulators to whom they give power to regulate and from whom they can take this power. Above all, do not let them con you into the belief that there exists disembodied mystical forces like the economy, inflation, politics, that prevent them from doing what they take an oath to do. Those 545 people, and they alone, are responsible. They and they alone have the power. They and they alone should be held accountable by we the people, who are their bosses, provided the voters have the gumption to manage their employees. We should vote them all out of office and clean up their mess. Over and out. Peace.